On tonight's CTV News, carpooling is being encouraged to resolve traffic congestion on the Northern Motorway. Nominations open for a Shirley Papanui by-election, and Rangiora locals look forward to the return of farmers. This is CTV News, I'm Grant Mangan. Interim flooding fixes will cost Christchurch City ratepayers $18 million.
The Christchurch City Council's flooding task force has reported back to the council with an estimated cost of the repairs. In total, $17.5 million will need to be spent on flood mitigation. Close to $4.5 million of that will be spent installing a temporary pumping station in St Albans. The task force will continue dredging the river, removing silt and repairing the flap gates of the Avon and Heathcote rivers. It's going to be a cold, wet winter for homeowners before these solutions are put in place. The work won't be complete until next summer. The report also recommends the council helps decontaminate properties and assists with the flooding clean-up if future events occur. The excess of some flood insurance claims has been reported by the Christchurch Press to be more than $10,000. The council could pay for some of the mitigation options by utilising its Earthquake Infrastructure Repair Fund. Meanwhile, the Earthquake Commission says work to identify properties with increased flooding vulnerability has reached an important phase. Earthquake Commission General Manager Gail Kettle says as flooding land damage isn't easily identified, EQC have had to complete in-depth analysis. EQC engineers are now visiting all properties potentially affected by increased flooding. This is in order to validate the research that's taken place recently. EQC are hoping to update affected property owners by September.
The Christchurch City Council has announced plans for short-term flood mitigation while long-term options are put in place.
Hundreds of Christchurch households worst affected by flooding will benefit from the council's decision today. A special task force has been set up by the Christchurch City Council to find solutions for local flooding. Today, the council approved a range of short-term flood mitigation options to help the city's flood defences. Christchurch Mayor Leanne Dalzell says today's decision has broken the back on the city's most pressing problem. As a short-term solution, the council is investing $4.5 million into the localised pump solution. This will provide flood protection to the Flockton community within 8 weeks. The pump is expected to benefit 129 properties and reduce regular flooding for a further 214 in normal rain events. The cost of the pump station will come out of the Earthquake Response and Repair Fund as part of the cost-sharing agreement with the government. Engineers believe the investment will not only be a short-term relief but also contribute to long-term solutions. The council are also considering waterproofing isolated vulnerable houses not covered by the local area schemes. The task force will trial waterproofing a house in the red zone at a cost of $15,000 to determine if they will be effective on other Christchurch homes.
Extending the Crown Manager's role at the Christchurch City Council isn't being ruled out by the government.
The contract for the Crown Manager's role at the Christchurch City Council is due to expire at the end of this year. The Minister for Building and Construction, Nick Smith, is not ruling out the government extending the contract. The Crown Manager, Doug Martin, began at the council following the consenting crisis late last year. The council made a bid to get back its consent accreditation 10 months after it was taken away over non-performance. The crisis led to the resignation of the council's previous chief executive, Tony Marriott. The council has gone from processing 45% of consents within 20 days to 75% within a reasonable time period. Minister Nick Smith says the Crown Manager should ideally not be removed until the government are 100% satisfied the council has the appropriate systems in place to meet the demand. Crown Manager Doug Martin, installed by government as an overseer, said the council had made excellent progress in scaling consenting to meet the demand. Doug Martin says he's confident the council can soon regain its accreditation.
The Christchurch City Council is encouraging carpooling into the central city to reduce traffic congestion on the Northern Motorway.
A big push for northern Canterbury commuters to carpool into the central city is being suggested as a solution to ease traffic. The aim is to reduce the congestion experienced by travellers driving into the central city. The busiest period for drivers is from 6:30 to 7:15 in the morning. Back-to-back traffic is not only dangerous, but produces frustrated drivers. The Christchurch City Council is encouraging commuters to register for the government's new website, letscarpool.govt.nz. The idea that travellers who live close will jump on board with the scheme and band together for the trip into town. To ease the congestion, transport authorities have estimated they need to clear 300 cars off the road. New Zealand's Transport Agency Southern Regional Director Jim Harland says the initiative will save drivers money for petrol and ease the traffic congestion on the roads. Regular commuter into the city James Ali carpools 3 days a week with a full car of passengers. James Ali says it's the efficient choice. Everyone works close together, so it's an option for him that makes sense. The National Week for Carpooling starts on Monday next week and runs through to Friday the 15th.
Changes to the advertising of alcohol could be introduced. CTV News looks into the impacts it may have on our drinking culture.
We see these commercials all the time. But what effect are they having on our community?
That exposure to alcohol promotions increases people's drinking, the intensity of their drinking, and starts them off drinking at an earlier age.
1,000 deaths a year are caused by alcohol consumption, and it relates to more than 60 medical conditions. Now New Zealand leaders are calling for the next government to change legislation when it comes to the marketing and pricing of alcohol.
Just telling people to drink responsibly, which seems to be the main strategy of the current government and is certainly supported by the alcohol industry, is just empty words, because these things don't work. What we need is more pragmatism, and we need to do something about the regulation around this recreational drug.
37 leaders, including the Cancer Society, National Heart Foundation, Salvation Army and medical and education professors, have all signed a petition supporting change, hoping to achieve 4 main goals, including phasing out alcohol advertising, phasing out alcohol sponsorship, instituting a minimum unit price for alcohol and increasing the tax on alcohol. CTV News asked locals if they thought advertising impacted the drinking culture in New Zealand.
It's not alcohol companies and advertising's fault that people drink too much. They should be allowed to have a few beers.
There's quite a lot of advertising out there, and it probably leads to binge drinking.
It's parents' responsibility to raise their kids right and know that there's limits to what you can do with alcohol, that it's a dangerous substance and it can lead to death and disturbances in your lifestyle and all that stuff. And you got to educate your kids, and at that point, advertising shouldn't really matter much.
In 2010, Sir Geoffrey Palmer led the New Zealand Law Commission reviewing the country's liquor laws. It found marketing alcohol caused social damage. The review recommended changes to advertising and selling of alcohol in New Zealand, but wasn't picked up by the government.
At the end of the day, that's what this is all about. It's improving the health and safety and well-being of all New Zealanders.
Overseas, steps are already being taken to help curb the effects of alcohol. The USA has a minimum drinking age of 21, and Finland's alcohol tax is already twice as high as in New Zealand. Professor Doug Salmon believes New Zealand needs to step up and make changes as well.
We've got a serious problem in New Zealand, but many other countries have a serious problem too. There is a global alcohol industry that targets young people right across the Western world and is using alcohol promotion as part of that strategy.
If the government acts on the petition, after the September elections, these kinds of commercials could be a thing of the past. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
A Shirley Papanui Community Board member's resignation means a by-election will be held. Nominations are now open for candidates seeking a position on the Shirley Papanui Community Board. The by-election is being held due to the recent resignation of the Community Board's Deputy Chair, Gemma Maslin. People's Choice Chairman, of whom Paul McMahon, says Gemma Maslin, who was a member of People's Choice, has resigned due to personal reasons. Voting will close at noon on Friday the 29th of August 2014. People's Choice is yet to decide whether it will put forward a candidate. Coming up, a revamped flower show for Christchurch is being mooted.
Be immersed in the unique cultural highlights Germany has to offer every Tuesday night with Discover Germany. Tuesday at 7 p.m, right here on CTV.
Potholes. To some, a simple hole in the ground, causing no harm and no concern. But don't let that fool you. Potholes are dangerous. Did you know potholes have been linked to numerous nasty falls and flat tires? So if you have a pothole situation on your property, don't panic. Call the Pothole Repair Company. They'll fix your potholes in a jiffy. So next time you see a pothole on your driveway or in your car park, call the Pothole Repair Company.
Avoid the monkeys when it comes to relocating. Trust A1 Movers, a family business since 1993 that guarantees a professional job every time. We carefully handle and wrap your valued items, ensuring they have a safe journey. Secure storage and insurance options are also available.
A1 Movers, the careful, caring moving company.
Oi!
My son's helped me greatly with my independence now that I've got more mobility.
Mum, I've been looking into stand assist chairs from More Mobility. They recline back with a footrest, then when you want to get out of them, they stand you up. You can even sleep on them. More Mobility can bring one out for a free trial. There's even electric beds too. What do you think? For more range and more expert advice, see More Mobility, corner Clarence and Princess Streets off Blenheim Road.
What a difference more mobility makes.
Blackwells has a proud history presenting leading vehicle brands, extensive backup and service for a total one-stop driving experience. Holden, Mazda and HSV new and used vehicle sales, servicing, parts, paint and panel, Isuzu truck sales and service, all together in one convenient location. More selection, more value, more quality and more reasons to make Blackwells your #1 choice. Visit Blackwells today, corner Waterloo Racecourse Road, Sockburn, or online at blackwells.co.nz.
Red and Black Sports match of the day in the Press Cup this week. It's on our screen, Sunday 12:30, 5:30 replay on the day and 7 o'clock next Thursday night. Catch the match.
The Christchurch City Council has yet to make an official decision about the future of the Ellerslie Flower Show, but a revamped version may return in 2016.
The future of the Ellerslie Flower Show is still unknown as the public await the Christchurch City Council's decision. The Ellerslie Flower Show was purchased by the council in 2007 for a total of $3 million, all to enhance the city's international reputation as New Zealand's Garden City. The council is considering breaking its contract with Ellerslie, which cost ratepayers $900,000 since 2010. Councillor Glenn Livingston suggested if the show is cancelled, that it returns in 2016 with a new name. The Flower Show was named after its home suburb in Auckland. The Flower Show cost the Christchurch City Council over $500,000 this year. Although well received by more than 90% of visitors, the council are looking at whether the financial costs exceed its worth. Councillor Tim Scandrett, who chairs the Christchurch City Council's Ellerslie Subcommittee, expects to release a decision on Monday.
Mount Hutt is delaying the start of its ski season. Warm temperatures, and certainly was mild this morning, wasn't it, have caused organisers to delay their opening from this Saturday until further notice. James McKenzie, the ski manager, says it's hugely disappointing when all systems, lifts and the staff are ready to go. Temperatures are expected to drop over the next few weeks with further natural snowfall expected. Closed since the earthquakes, the demolition of the Farmers Department store in Rangiora will begin soon, but the new store won't be opened for another 2 years.
Rangiora was badly damaged in the earthquakes, losing homes and key businesses, such as Farmers Department Store. 3 years on, the well-loved shop remains broken and fenced up. Residents complain the fencing has become disruptive to the streetscape of the town. Once demolition is completed, the fences will be removed by the Waimakariri District Council. The local business owners and residents will be pleased to see the street return back to some sort of normality since the earthquakes hit. Gary Grives owns North Canterbury Glass. He says as a business owner it is frustrating that without the department store there, other businesses suffer.
We're another businesses here and it attracts people to the area. And that's what we're missing at the moment, as you can see. Those empty car parks, they should be full.
It's not just an empty building. The local business owner says it's about bringing people back into the Rangiora township.
The amount of people that we notice that are not coming out here now, it's, and it's all because of this building here.
Rangiora is the largest town in North Canterbury with a population of 16,000. To go to a department store similar to Farmers, residents have to drive more than half an hour to Northlands Mall. We went to the streets to see what the locals think of Farmers' return to the North Canterbury suburb.
People come from miles around because it comes from around the country back into here. It'd be lovely to see it open and moving forward.
I'll be pleased when it reopens, but I understand completely that it can't open till it's all sorted out first.
Really good for Rangiora and just surrounding communities, yeah.
I did, yes, I'm from Cheviot, so we come down here shopping and really missed it, so no, it'd be lovely.
And we really miss it. We really miss so much. It's about time. They've wasted so much time. And yeah, we really look forward to it. That's the main one we really miss in Rangiora. Ask everybody, they'll agree.
It's good to have the, the economic ticking over in our local community and the money going into our local community, bringing people into the town instead of having to go into Christchurch. Yeah.
No, we miss the old Farmers. I've known it for years. Ever since I was a wee fella.
Demolition of the earthquake-affected building is to start soon, making way for construction to begin. Joelle Batista, CTV News.
And as a North Canterbury resident myself, I'd have to say I miss the Farmers, and I can't wait to see that damaged building come down and work to start on the new one. Well, still to come, the business traffic and weather updates.
Join us tonight at 6 for DW World News. Informative, lively, international news, breaking stories and global developments. DW News, weekdays at 6 p.m, right here on CTV.
Get rid of that damaging and unsightly moss, mould and lichen from your path, drive or roof with Mossbuster. Mossbuster is a no-bleach, non-abrasive, biodegradable solution that has over 35 years of proven results. Mossbuster costs less than half the price of other well-known products and can be yours for less than $1 a litre. You just spray it on and let Mother Nature do the rest. Check out our website to find the best solution to your moss, mould and grime problem. Order online or call us now on 0800 88 1000.
Welcome to Caltex Redwood. We're a family-owned business proudly supporting our local community. We're open 24/7 for fuel and shop goods, and we have an amazing team of people ready to help you. Save at least 6 cents per litre using AA Smart Fuel cards. We also offer great value on our LPG bottle fills. We have a full workshop and Bridgestone Tyre Centre. Our mechanics and tyre technicians will get your car sorted. Caltex Redwood. We're just down from St Bede's on Main North Road. Caltex Redwood. What drives you?
Action Removals, offering short or long-term storage facilities, full packing services, comprehensive rates, all fully insured and with 6 vehicle sizes to choose from. Earthquake repairs? Action Removals pack, move, store and return your valuable possessions stress-free. Action Removals, a family business that has been operating in Christchurch for over 10 years. Action Removals, your one-stop removal service on time, every time. 0800 222 526.
Take a multi-dimensional look at the unique facets of European culture, fashion, film, music, art and everything in between. Euromax, every weekday at 8 a.m, right here on CTV.
Well, it's Thursday already, and here's Warren Head with this week's business news.
Hi, I'm Warren Head from headliner.co.nz. The big picture this week was all promising stuff. In fact, a lot of it seems to have occurred because the building construction details came out, and in the March quarter, work in place was 16% up. Now, let me just put that in context. The big banks, who should have a handle on these things, thought it would be around about 5%. So one of the bank economists from the Westpac in particular said, hey, everything is awesome out there, absolutely awesome. I'm staggered by these numbers. And of course, what is happening is that building work has been ramping up right across New Zealand, and particularly still to come in Canterbury, where you could say we're still ramping up. We haven't quite got to our peak yet. But the suspicion is that a lot of the consented building work is now being cleared out quite quickly, and we may see a little lag later if we had this big bump now. So that's a picture to watch going forward. But no surprise for us here in Canterbury, but this big increase in building work in place also means a very steep rise in building costs. Quite acute, in fact. So I think the whole issue of affordable housing in the city is going to be the big talking point for the rest of this year and maybe 2 or 3 years after that. Moving on, out onto the markets today came a decision by the Financial Markets Authority and the receivers of strategic finance that there has been a settlement. If any of you at home happen to have money with strategic finance, there may well be a further distribution coming your way. The settlement to be paid to the receivers by the directors and the auditors is $22 million. That'll take a little while to move through. It'll be paid out over about 6 months to the receivers, and then they'll distribute funds to the investors in the way that these receivers normally do. And 6 directors of strategic have been banned from operating as a director for up to 5 years. Now, the same people that put the receivers into strategic, were receivers in strategic finance, PricewaterhouseCoopers, are acting for the Postie Plus Group Voluntary Administration. This is a new thing in New Zealand. It's been in place only a few years. It simply gives a company a chance to trade out, find somebody to buy the assets, keep all the staff on board, and keep stores or assets operating and open. In the case of Postie Plus, 82 stores around the country. This used to be the headquarters of the company here in Christchurch, but they largely pulled out and went to Auckland last year. Somewhere along the way, the distribution centre up there had not a mild, but a major hiccup, and lots of things arrived all at the same time. Things got a little bit bogged down, stuff didn't get out to the stores, and they essentially missed almost a season's good trading. So they lost market share along the way, and they haven't quite come back from that. The new management in place has got a plan. It did seem to be working. All those stores have been beautifully modernised, really nice stores to go into, great staff around this city in particular, but a problem with the bankers. The bankers didn't like the fact that they had a loss of 10 million last year, almost 4 million for the half year, a little less coming up for this full year coming, but they had to also roll over their banking arrangements by the end of July. So I think you can connect the dots, see what happened there, and that's ended up with the voluntary administration. There appears to be somebody who's looking at them ready to buy them. Now, on the store front, let me just give you some really good news to finish up with. Farmers Trading has announced as of yesterday that heads of agreement now exist between them and Mandeville Properties in North Canterbury to develop the new store by farmers in Rangiora, a major asset that the town has been holding out for some time. It's going to be quite a big store. It'll be 2-storey. It'll have about 6 specialty stores in there as well. So it's delighted people in Rangiora and something to look forward to for that township. And those of us who like to go out to Rangiora for a bit of shopping, try that this weekend. I'm Warren Head for headliner.co.nz.
If you're driving around the Christchurch central city, CTV's traffic update will assist you navigating the repairs taking place.
Hello travellers, to help you plan your journey around the central city, here's a few tips on the best way to avoid those nasty jams this week. Chilham Street's now open to 2-way traffic between Manchester and Madras Streets. High Street's also reopened to traffic between Litchfield and Chilham. The section of Chilham Street between Colombo and Manchester remains closed for about another week, while the demolition of a building continues. St Asaph Street remains busy. It's down to 1 lane between Barbados and Manchester Streets. To keep up to date on what's happening with the Central City roads, stay tuned, keep watching CTV News first at 5, and in the meantime visit the Transport for Christchurch website.
And finally tonight, as always, your regional weather.
Good evening, Canterbury. Here's your local weather for the day. Starting off in Timaru, Temuka and Geraldine, 16 degrees. A nice day in Ashburton and Methven with 18. Over in Rakaia, 18 as well. Darfield, Leeston and Ralston had a mild day of 17 degrees. Lincoln reached 17 as well, while Christchurch was ever so slightly cooler on 16. Akanawa a mild 18. Over in the Waimakariri district, Rangiora and Carpooling 20 degrees, with Amberley on 20 as well. And up the top in the Huranui district, Hanma Springs, Culverden and Cheviot had the high of the day on 21. Kaikoura slightly cooler on 20. Looking ahead to tomorrow, Timaru, mostly fine for your Friday, with high cloud increasing and light variable winds. Cool temperatures expected as well. Tonight's low 7, tomorrow's high 11. In Ashburton, mostly fine at first with high cloud, but cloud increasing during the day and scattered light rain developing later in the afternoon, hitting a low of 7 overnight and a high of 10 during the day. In Christchurch, high cloud increasing and low cloud developing with some scattered rain during the afternoon, and expect some light winds. Hitting a low of 7 overnight and a high of 10 tomorrow. In Kaikoura, cloud increasing during the morning and rain developing during the afternoon with light southerly winds. Tonight's low 7, tomorrow's high 10. Now taking a look at the other areas. Temuka and Geraldine, cloudy with a high of 11 and low of 7. Methven can expect a high of 10 and low of 7. Rakaia a high of 11 and a low of 7. In Darfield and Leeston expect cloud and rain and a high of 10. In Ralston and Lincoln also cloudy and rainy with a high of 10. Over in Akanawa expect a high of 10 and a low of 7. And in Rangiora and Carpooling for your Friday, it will be cloudy with rain and a high of 10. In Culverden, Hanma Springs and Cheviot, you'll be hitting 7 overnight with cloud and rain expected. Looking ahead for Canterbury, cloudy and cold on Saturday with a few light showers at times. Expect light northerly or northeasterly winds. Periods of rain may become briefly heavy on Sunday, with cold temperatures and moderate southerly winds. Snow lowering to 600 metres. Cloudy and cold on Monday and Tuesday. A few light showers at times, but mostly dry, with moderate southerly or southwesterly winds. Scattered showers at first on Wednesday, but more persistent and heavier rain developing from evening, with cold southwesterlies freshening and snow lowering to 300 metres. And that's all for your regional weather. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Because from here on the weather's downhill. I do apologise for that dreary forecast. And that is CTV News for Thursday. I'm Grant Mangan. Good night.